Part 95. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 943. Chaos liquid is the best resource allocated by the major Tianzun forces to cultivate babies in the clan. It is extremely precious, and even a drop of it is considered to be extremely valuable. In the outside world, in fact, all major forces use resources to cultivate core members of their own tribes, but the resources they use are obviously much different. The effect is 1/10,000th of that of chaos liquid, which is considered very good. Even if the chaos liquid is used by the internal personnel of the Bloody Dynasty, it is estimated that the effect of chaos liquid is only 1%. Only the core group of people from the top Blood Dynasty can use the top chaos liquid. This is the benefit of strong power. If he were reincarnated into a weak force, Li Yang wouldn't be able to get the best from chaos liquid alone. For Ziyuking, chaos liquid is nothing. As long as her children can absorb it, she can provide it without limit. Time flies, and the next thing Li Yang has to do is to practice and practice again. With the help of chaos liquid, his understanding of laws is constantly improving. Haha, it is worthy of being one of the four holy realms. This energy is so strange. Li Yang was very surprised at this time. He is now comprehending the laws of time, fire fusion, darkness, thunder and lightning fusion, space, and metal fusion. It took him nearly 5,000 years to comprehend 2/3 of these three fusion laws. This speed is naturally extremely fast in Panyan universe. However, compared to the current rate of progress, the previous understanding was much slower. 10 years have passed, and Li Yang has directly advanced more than 1/5 of the remaining progress of the three fusion laws. What kind of comprehension speed is this? Continue to understand that I am still very early from birth. It is estimated that it will take another 4 to 50 years. In these 4 or 50 years, I have every hope of completely mastering time, the law of fire fusion, darkness, the law of thunder and lightning fusion, space, the law of metal fusion. During the gestation stage, if you gestate for a longer period of time and absorb more chaotic liquid energy, your potential will naturally be greater after birth. However, this is not absolute. Deliberately delaying pregnancy will also have an impact on potential. However, decades of gestation are appropriate. Without thinking too much, Li Yang continued to absorb energy and comprehend the law of fusion. As time goes by, his fusion rules continue to improve. Time passes day by day, and 40 years pass by. In the palace, Ji Yuanheng and Ji Yuantong are accompanying Ziyuking. Mom, my brother can absorb so much chaos liquid, he must have extraordinary talents after birth, Ji Yuantong said happily. Ji Yuanheng also had a look of joy on his face and said, maybe my younger brother will have the power to dominate after he is born. They were only happy about their unborn brother's powerful talent and had no other emotions. Their lineage is not as good as the others, and they wish their younger brother was more talented. I hope so. Ziyuking also had a look of expectation on her face. At this time, she could only know that her child had absorbed a lot of chaos liquid, but absorbing more did not mean that he had made more progress. It is possible that a large portion of the chaos liquid will be wasted. Moreover, true potential is only seen at birth. Just like the clone that Li Yang gave birth to before, even if the clone has mastered the complete rules, it still can't see anything when it is pregnant. Only after birth can the origin of the laws of heaven and earth be triggered immediately. While he was talking, Ji Yuantong suddenly frowned slightly. Mother, the second aunt is here again, Ji Yuantong said, obviously dissatisfied. From their second uncle's lineage, their cousin Lan Su entered the second stage of chaos before them, and their second aunt Gu Xingsheng often came over. Sure enough, soon a woman in a green robe came over. Behind her was the young man Lan Su. Sister Qing Gu Xingsheng, the woman in green robe, said with a smile, Lan Su just came back from training and went to see the king. While Lan Su was training outside, he happened to get a strong man who practiced the 12 swords of heaven. According to the inheritance left behind, Yuan Hong also practiced the sword technique, so the king asked Lan Su to compete and communicate with Yuan Hong. Hearing this, Ziyuking ordered, Yuan Hong, since it is the king's order, then you should communicate with cousin Lan Su. Yes, Mother Ji. Yuan Hong nodded. At this time, Li Yang was still in his stomach, comprehending the rules. My mother has a very high status. She belongs to the bloodline of the eldest son of the Lord of Blood, but the other bloodlines are not convinced. Li Yang could hear the movements outside in his belly, and he could easily deduce each bloodline situation. But it's normal, everywhere there is competition. Li Yang didn't care about these. At this time, he continued to comprehend the law of fusion. There's still one last bit left. 50 years have passed, and Li Yang has completely mastered the time, fire fusion law, darkness and thunder and lightning fusion law, leaving only space and the metal fusion law. At a certain moment, these two systems of laws finally merged completely. Successful, at this time, Li Yang suddenly showed a smile on his face. In just 50 years, he once again mastered the 3 fusion laws, and he mastered them completely. Look at the effects of these 3 fusion laws. Li Yang tried to connect them. Boom. At the moment when this idea came into being, the new time he comprehended, the fire fusion law, the darkness, the lightning fusion law, the space, the gold fusion law, all of a sudden, and a world appeared. This world was actually the world that Li Yang had previously constructed with the life, wood fusion law, the death, earth fusion law, the darkness and gold fusion law. And a strong man, even if he was a heavenly master, only had one world. So, after Li Yang mastered the 3 new fusion laws again, this world appeared involuntarily. Boom. After this world appeared, Li Yang suddenly felt that the whole world had a connection with him. Outside, the green-robed woman Gu Zingxian looked at Ziyuking with a smile on her face, and there was a hint of pride in her eyes. She was born far inferior to Ziyuking, but came from an ordinary Tiandao realm level force. She used to be respectful in front of Ziyuking, and was obviously inferior to Ziyuking. And now, with the rise of her son Langsu and the attention of the State Lord, her status is also constantly rising. Therefore, she often brought her son to show off. Behind Ziyuking, Ji Yuantong looked at Gu Zingxian, and an unnoticeable dissatisfaction flashed in the depths of his eyes from time to time. Other veins also wanted to suppress their veins, but the second vein was the most obvious. However, Ziyuking did not have any emotional changes. She smiled and said something to Gu Zingxian, but at a certain time, Ziyuking's face changed for the first time. "Mother, what's wrong?" Seeing this, Ji Yuantong asked hurriedly. Ziyuking looked at her belly at this time, and it was difficult to keep calm. "Your brother is about to be born." Buzz. While speaking, Ziyuking suddenly had a series of light on her body, completely covering her body, and she could not see clearly. Then the light quickly disappeared, and a chaotic meatball appeared in front of Ziyuking, and the meatball was completely surrounded by chaotic airflow. Boom. After the chaos meatball appeared, the entire world suddenly changed above their palace. An endless ocean of the origin of the law appeared, and there was even a world that completely covered this place. Thanks to Hissenling for the 500 reward, and 08 for the 100 reward, thank you. End of this chapter. From the city to the strongest in the universe. Author, Ji Difeng Ren. Chapter 944. When Li Yang made contact with the endless source of laws in the outside world, his face changed. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. I'm going to be born. He clearly realized his state. The ancestor realm has a world in itself. In the gestation stage, no matter how long it takes, as long as you reach the ancestor realm, you must be born. Boom. Above the palace where Li Yang was, the whole world suddenly changed, and an endless ocean of law source appeared, and there was even a world that completely covered this place. This coverage is very large, almost covering the entire palace of the Blood Slaughter dynasty. And within the scope of this world, endless fusion law sources appeared, rushing into Li Yang's world crazily. Before, Li Yang broke through to the realm of the ancestor of creation and absorbed the fusion law source, which was also absorbed by his own world. And at this time, it was the same, but there was a big difference between the two. One is the absorption when you break through, and now Li Yang is absorbing after the gestation, when he was just born. In the gestation stage, it has a stronger strength. After birth, it will attract the origin of heaven and earth to descend. And the time of this descent will be very short, and it will dissipate in 1 minute at most. And in this minute, all the origins of the fusion law will flow into Li Yang's world. Therefore, at this time, the sky above the Blood Slaughter dynasty was completely covered by the origin of the fusion law. These origins poured down and almost covered the entire Blood Slaughter dynasty. It was extremely spectacular. Boom. 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 Such a loud momentum instantly attracted the attention of countless strong men in the imperial city of the Blood Slaughter dynasty. Is that, the origin of the fusion law descending? The speed of the origin descending is that someone was born, and the origin descended at the moment of birth. This momentum is so great, even if a natural master is born, it is impossible to be like this. Yes, Kunyu of the Divine Wing clan was born as the master, and at that time there were also endless fusion law origins descending. I saw it with my own eyes, but the momentum was not even a tenth of what it is now. Surpassing Kunyu, this is the ancestor realm. Someone in the Blood Slaughter dynasty was born in the ancestor realm. In the Blood Slaughter dynasty, there are naturally strong people from other major forces, and those who can stay in the imperial city have high status and position, and many of them come from other Tianzun forces. At this time, all these people flew into the void, looking at the spectacular scene of the origin of the fusion law descending, and their hearts were shocked. Born in the ancestor realm, only 3 of the 4 sacred domains have appeared in endless years, and none of them have seen such a breakthrough scene. The foreign strongmen are like this, and the most shocked at this time are undoubtedly the people in the Blood Slaughter dynasty. Boom. 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 Strong men kept appearing, and the fluctuations on their bodies showed that they were all strong men at the level of heavenly Dao realm. Natural ancestor. A natural ancestor was born in my Blood Slaughter dynasty. Which baby was born? The faces of the high-level officials of the Blood Slaughter dynasty were all excited. Natural ancestor, one of the 3 who appeared in the 4 sacred domains died, and the other 2 finally became powerful heavenly venerables. At this time, in the central palace of the Blood Slaughter dynasty, 2 men were talking. One of the men, wearing a golden robe, was burly and looked majestic without anger. He was the ruler of the Blood Slaughter dynasty, the Blood Slaughter king at the peak of heavenly Dao realm. In front of the Blood Slaughter king, there was a thin middle-aged man. This man looked a bit like a human, but his skin looked like rock. He had 2 pairs of wings on his back, 1 pair of black and 1 pair of white. His pupils were completely purple and he had a vertical eye. His figure and appearance were exactly the same as Kunyu, and he was obviously from the Divine Wing clan. Haha, brother Dao Yu, this event is settled. Kunwu smiled. He came to invite the Lord of Blood Slaughter to attend this event. The Lord of Blood Slaughter nodded and said, "Okay, Kunwu, I have something else to do." He actually issued an order to expel the guest. The Divine Wing clan and the Blood Slaughter dynasty are the 2 most powerful heavenly venerable forces in the Eastern Holy Land, and each has 2 heavenly venerables. The 2 major forces fight and compete in all aspects. He and Kunwu are of the same generation. They also competed against each other at the beginning. Their strength is now at the peak of the heavenly Dao realm. However, the Divine Wing clan has Kunyu, a natural master, and Kun Wu is Kun Yu's father. In terms of genius, the Blood Slaughter dynasty is a little worse than the Divine Wing clan at this time. Kun Wu also knows that his Divine Wing clan is not welcome in the Blood Slaughter dynasty, but he still has a smile on his face, and he doesn't mind the order of expulsion from the Lord of Blood Slaughter. Since Brother Dao Yu has something to do, I won't bother you. He turned around and prepared to leave. Boom. But at this moment, the sky above the entire dynasty suddenly changed. When he noticed this change, the Lord of Blood Slaughter was stunned for a moment, and then his eyes suddenly showed an extremely excited look. His figure moved and disappeared. As for Kun Wu, his face also changed suddenly. This fluctuation is. Kun Wu obviously knew what was going on. He did not choose to leave, but followed closely behind the Lord of Blood Slaughter. Swish. In the void, the figure of the Lord of Blood Slaughter appeared. Lord. Seeing this man in a golden robe, the other strong men of the Blood Slaughter dynasty all said respectfully. Who was born and caused such a momentum? The Lord of Blood Slaughter asked hurriedly. In the 4 sacred domains, those who have strong strength in the gestation stage and cause the origin to descend after birth will be protected by the rules of the origin of the universe. At this time, Li Yang was absorbing the source of the fusion law, and the large area where he was located was isolated from all outside detection, and no one could attack him now. It was impossible to detect Li Yang's location. Father, if nothing unexpected happens, it is the palace area where my elder brother and elder sister-in-law are. As soon as the Blood Slaughter King finished speaking, a man in red armor stepped forward and reported. Tianxuan's child. Hearing this, the Blood Slaughter King's face was even more joyful. Good. At this time, not only here, but other places were also quickly detecting who was born. Soon, the situation about Li Yang was spread, and there was no need to hide anything. In the territory of the Blood Slaughter dynasty, it was absolutely impossible for anyone to hurt their royal family. The one born is the son of Ji Tianxian and Zi Ayuking. Ji Tianxian is the son of the Lord of Swaluo dynasty, and Zi Ayuking is the daughter of the Lord of Benjiu dynasty. Their son is the natural ancestor. Ji Tianxian and Zi Ayuking had a son and a daughter before, but they were both born emperors. Although Ji Tianxian and Zi Ayuking are both in the heavenly Dao realm, they are both in the first stage of the heavenly Dao realm, and their talents are not top-notch. Their third child's talent is so strong. The Swaluo dynasty already has 2 heavenly venerables, whose strength is among the top 10 in the 4 sacred domains. Now such a genius is born. End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. From the city to the strongest in the universe. Author, Ji Difeng Ren. Chapter 945. The news was shocking and shocking. The natural ancestor, this is completely the seed of the heavenly venerable. And this genius who was born has the blood of the Blood Slaughter dynasty and the Ice Moon dynasty, and is backed by 2 heavenly venerable forces. Rumble. In the Blood Slaughter Imperial City, the endless source of the law of fusion continues to descend. Whoosh. 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 And in all parts of the Imperial City, and even outside the Imperial City, strong men kept coming to watch the grand occasion of the arrival of the source of the law of fusion. If they miss this time, they may never see it again in their lifetime. There was a huge wave in the outside world. At this time, Li Yang was absorbing the source of the law of fusion with all his strength. The speed of absorption is so fast Li Yang was also a little surprised. Before he broke through to the ancestor of creation, the speed of absorbing the source of the law of fusion was completely different from now. Li Yang only felt that his strength was rapidly improving. Not only strength, he even felt that his soul, comprehension, and other aspects were all improving. After birth, the process of the origin of the fusion law descending also greatly improves one's own talent. The stronger the strength, the more perfect the improvement. Li Yang clearly felt that compared with his previous self and his current self, at the same realm, his current talent is definitely far superior to his previous self. A minute passed quickly, and the vast origin of the fusion law also quickly dissipated. At this time, the palace where Li Yang was located finally allowed a series of consciousness explorations. The chaotic meatball had disappeared at this time, and a chubby child who looked 5 or 6 years old appeared in front of everyone. Although small, the momentum fluctuations on his body have completely reached the level of the ancestor realm. That is the son of Ji Tianqian and Ziyuking. This child has such a strong talent, and he has the Blood Slaughter dynasty and the Ice Moon dynasty behind him. He is a genius at birth. It is estimated that this child will be a legend for tens of thousands of years in the future. It is hard to say when another heavenly venerable will be born in the Blood Slaughter dynasty. The strong men discussed one by one. In the endless years, 2 of the 3 natural ancestors became the heavenly venerables, and the other did not become one, because he died in the middle of the journey. Therefore, the probability of becoming the heavenly venerable is almost 100%. At this time, Ziyuking and others in the palace where Li Yang was were also shocked. My child has reached the ancestor realm since birth. Ziyuking looked at the young Li Yang, and looked at the little person, with a sense of unreality. My brother is a natural ancestor. At this time, Ji Yuantong next to Ziyuking was also shocked, and then suddenly became excited. They were happy and excited, and as for Gu Xingsheng of the second vein, her face changed again and again. Natural ancestor, she knew exactly what this meant. Ziyuking and others had different expressions, and Li Yang breathed a sigh of relief at this time. Finally came out. Before, Li Yang had been practicing in the belly, and it always felt a little strange. Looking at Ziyuking, Li Yang moved and came to her, saying, "The child has seen his mother." He still respected Ziyuking very much and regarded her as his mother. The blood of his body was given by Ziyuking, except for a trace of his soul mark. Of course, the essence of life lies in the soul. At this time, Li Yang's soul is a special fusion of his previous and current souls. So, Li Yang now belongs to both the Panyan universe and the 4 sacred realms. My child. Ziyuking hurriedly pulled Li Yang up with a smile on her face. "Brother." Beside him, Ji Yuantong couldn't help but speak, looking at the chubby Li Yang, his face full of love. "Hello, brother and sister." Li Yang looked at Ji Yuanheng and Ji Yuantong and shouted. "Hee hee." Ji Yuantong's personality is obviously eccentric. Hearing Li Yang's address, he chuckled, then looked at Gu Xingsheng and others and introduced, "This is your second aunt, cousin." Ji Yuantong felt very happy at this time. "My second aunt always came here to show off her son. Now my brother is so talented, let's see what the second aunt has to say." Ha ha. A loud laugh came from the void. After the source of the endless fusion law disappeared, strong men appeared around the palace where Li Yang was. Almost all of them were high-level officials of the Blood Slaughter dynasty. "This kid is really good. In the long years of my Blood Slaughter dynasty, there have been more natural emperors, and only 2 natural masters have appeared. As for the natural ancestor, there is only one now." These high-level Tiandao realm officials of the Blood Slaughter dynasty looked at Li Yang, as if looking at a rare treasure, with excitement and joy in their eyes. "Greetings to the king." Seeing the arrival of Lord Swallow, Ziyuking and others hurriedly saluted. Lord Swallow waved his hand, he looked at Li Yang, then looked at Ziyuking, and asked, "Ziyuking, did you name this child Ji Yuanwu before?" For decades, Ziyuking knew that her child was a boy, and had already chosen a name. "Yes," Lord Ziyuking nodded. "Ji Yuanwu is just one of the names, and there are a few more that are uncertain. They picked several names and planned to choose them after Li Yang was born." Lord Swallow smiled and said, I'll add a name, Ji Yuanzun, how about this name? Yuanzun? This name. Hearing this, the eyes of many powerful people around changed slightly. Zun, this word, in the four holy domains, everyone knows what it represents. Ziyuking was also stunned for a moment, and then said, Thank you, Lord, for the name. Lord Swallow smiled slightly, looked at Li Yang and said, Child, what do you think of the name Ji Yuanzun? Li Yang thought about it, nodded and said, Okay. The name is just a name for him, so there is no need to entangle. Haha. Seeing Li Yang nod, Lord Swallow was even more happy. He looked at Kunwu who had not left yet, and smiled, Kunwu, we still have things to do, so we won't keep you any longer. At this time, Kunyu's father Kunwu stared at Li Yang closely, and when he was shocked, there was still envy in his eyes that was difficult to conceal. What luck did the Swallow dynasty have? There was such a genius born, Kunwu couldn't help thinking. In each of the Tianzun forces, even if a genius born to dominate was born, it would cause a huge shock, just like the birth of his son Kunyu. The child in front of him looked like he was only in the ancestor realm, so he was naturally very weak in his eyes. However, in the future, he would be able to grow to the level of being able to kill him with a wave of his hand. Threat. At this time, Li Yang was a huge threat to their Shinai tribe. However, Kunwu did not dare to have any thoughts at this time. Because, at this time, he felt completely locked by an extremely terrifying thought. If he had any abnormal behavior, he would probably die in the next moment. He was a peak powerhouse in the heavenly Dao realm. There was only one person who could make him feel afraid, and that was the Tianzun powerhouse of the Blood Slaughter dynasty. Thanks to 08 for the 100 rewards, thank you. End of this chapter. From the city to the strongest in the universe. Author, Ji Difeng Ren. Chapter 947. Kunwu of the Divine Wing clan felt locked by an extremely terrifying consciousness. It was obvious that the consciousness of the heavenly master of the Blood Slaughter dynasty had already enveloped this place. Just kidding, the genius of the natural ancestor, the heavenly master of the Blood Slaughter dynasty would never allow him to have an accident. Anyone who dared to have an idea would definitely be killed by them immediately. Therefore, even if Kunwu knew that Li Yang would be a huge threat to their Divine Wing clan in the future, he still did not dare to make any move at this time. He had a smile on his face. If you look closely, this smile was obviously squeezed out. Brother Dayu, congratulations on having another Tianjiao in the Blood Slaughter dynasty. Kunwu smiled and said, since Brother Dayu has something to do next, I won't bother you anymore. He turned around and left here quickly without hesitation. Watching Kunwu leave, the Blood Slaughter King had a smile on his lips. At this time, he could fully imagine how Kunwu felt. Everyone, please disperse. The Blood Slaughter King's consciousness spread, covering the extremely large area around him, and his voice was also heard everywhere at this time. At this time, the area where Li Yang was located had gathered countless consciousnesses, all of which were from various powerful forces. Master Swallow, congratulations. Today is a great event for the Swallow dynasty. We will not disturb you. We will definitely send you a gift another day. After hearing the voice of Master Swallow, the consciousnesses that were observing Li Yang also quickly retreated, not daring to stay any longer. Because their consciousness also felt a palpitation like Kunwu. Soon, only the people of the Swallow dynasty were left here. Joy and excitement, this is the feeling of everyone in the Swallow dynasty. Master Swallow also looked at Li Yang again at this time. Just now, the ancestor Suhan ordered me to take Yuanzun to see him, Master Swallow said. Hearing the name of the ancestor Suhan, many high-level people in the heavenly Dao realm of the Swallow dynasty present showed an extremely respectful look in their eyes. The old group of Suhan is a Tianzun of the Swallow dynasty. Ancestor Suhen. At this time, Li Yang was also thinking about this name in his heart. Kunlun Mirror had mentioned the situation of Ancestor Suhen before. This is the oldest Tianzun strongman in the Blood Slaughter dynasty. He has lived for who knows how many years. Mother, I will be back soon, Li Yang said to Ziyuking. Ziyuking nodded, took Li Yang's hand, and earnestly told Li Yang, my son must be respectful to the ancestor. There was obviously reluctance in her eyes. Her son had just been born, so of course she wanted to watch him all the time and didn't want him to leave. I know, mother. Li Yang nodded, flew to the side of the Lord of Blood Slaughter, and then left. Watching Li Yang leave, Ziyuking still stood there, looking at him reluctantly. Mother, it's a good thing for my brother to see the ancestor. After seeing the ancestor, my brother will be back soon. Ji Yuantong hugged Ziyuking's arm and said with a smile. She was born as an emperor, not very strong. She had only seen the ancestor once since she was born. At this time, Gu Xingqian from the second vein next to Ziyuking also smiled and said, Sister Qing, Yuanzun has such a strong talent, the ancestor will definitely give him some guidance. In the future, Yuanzun's achievements will be limitless. After a brief shock, Gu Xingqian quickly adjusted her mentality. Li Yang is so talented that there may be a third heavenly venerable in the Blood Slaughter dynasty in the future, which is a great thing for the Blood Slaughter dynasty. Rightward arrow. Although there are some comparisons in small matters, overall, all the people in the Blood Slaughter dynasty hope that the Blood Slaughter dynasty will become stronger. Li Yang left and went to meet the heavenly venerable Suhen, and completely disappeared from everyone's sight. However, the commotion he caused will obviously not dissipate so easily. In the Blood Slaughter dynasty, Ji Tianqian, the son of the Lord of the Blood Slaughter Kingdom, and Ziyuking, the daughter of the Lord of the Binjiu Kingdom of the Binjiu dynasty, their son was born and reached the ancestor realm at birth. The Lord of the Blood Slaughter Kingdom named him Ji Yuanzun. This news spread quickly in a short time. Not only the Eastern Holy Land, but even the other three Holy Lands quickly got the news. The natural ancestor, the Blood Slaughter dynasty actually gave birth to a genius of the natural ancestor. How is it possible? Such geniuses have appeared for endless years, and only 3 have appeared. If he continues to grow normally, he will almost certainly become a powerful heavenly venerable. The news cannot be false, many forces have witnessed it. At that time, the entire Blood Slaughter dynasty was covered by endless fusion of the origin of the law. The fluctuation of the momentum was greater than the fluctuation of the origin of the law descending when most strong men broke through to the chaos realm. The Blood Slaughter dynasty already has 2 heavenly venerables. Is there going to be one more? In the 4 sacred domains, there are 8 heavenly venerable forces with 2 heavenly venerables, and only 1 with 3 heavenly venerables. It's too early to say this now. Ji Yuanzun, with this name, doesn't the Blood Slaughter dynasty worry that he will die in the middle of the journey? The news about Li Yang spread like wildfire in a short period of time, and obviously caused a huge shock. Just kidding, there are not many powerful Tianzun in the 4 holy domains. And the natural ancestor will almost certainly grow into a Tianzun in the future. Not to mention the natural ancestor, just the natural master will attract the attention of countless people. The news spread, and there were people who were shocked, envious, and even expected Li Yang to die in the middle of the journey. It can be said that Li Yang's appearance in the 4 holy domains directly caused a huge shock in the 4 holy domains. In the Divine Wing clan, a young man was standing respectfully in front of a middle-aged man, accepting instructions. The young man looked very familiar. It was Kunyu, who had descended on the Panyan universe before and was so arrogant. Kunyu was born to be the master, and he was qualified to refine the heart of the Panyan universe. His status in the Shinai clan was also top-notch. The one who could make him so respectful must be a Tianzun strongman of the Shinai clan. Kunyu, Your cultivation mentality recently is not as good as before, the middle-aged man pointed out for a while and asked. Are you still affected by the previous incident? Hearing this, Kunyu did not dare to hide it and said respectfully, yes, ancestor, I was indeed greatly affected. The more than 100 million universes around the four sacred domains are completely resource collection sites for the four sacred domain forces, and they enter regularly to search for treasures. And he, Kunyu, as a top figure of the Tianzun force, actually suffered a great loss in that small Panyan universe. He, a strong man at the level of Tiandeo, was beaten and fled in embarrassment by an ant at the level of the ancestor of the Panyan universe. Shame, this is a shame that Kunyu has never suffered. Just like a person bitten by an extremely weak ant, the person will want to crush the ant to death. Kunyu was like this at this time. He wanted to enter the Panyan universe immediately, take revenge, and kill Li Yang. Otherwise, he always felt a sense of frustration in his heart. Humph, you have suffered such a blow for just one failure. How can you refine the heart of the universe in the future? The middle-aged man Dian Tianzun said in a deep voice. From the city to the strongest in the universe. Author, Ji Difeng Ren. Chapter 948. The heart of the universe. After refining, there will be no bottleneck, and you can quickly cultivate to the heavenly venerable realm. However, refining the heart of the universe is very difficult. The difficulty of refining the heart of the universe for outsiders is more than 1,000 times higher than that of refining for those inside the universe. In fact, even those strong people born inside the universe left their own universe and came to the four sacred domains to practice. When they become strong, they will refine the heart of the universe, and only a few people will succeed. They also need their own strength to reach the heavenly Dao realm to succeed. And the heavenly Dao realm is not so easy to reach. Even Gun Hung and Gun Tong, who have a lot of resources to cultivate in the gestation stage and are born as emperors, will stop at the chaos realm and cannot go further, not to mention others. The difficulty of refining for the strong people born inside the universe is so great, and those from outside the universe, even if they reach the heavenly Dao realm, it is difficult to succeed in refining. At this time, among the more than 100 million universes, nearly 10 of them have given birth to the heart of the universe. Most of the universes with the heart of the universe have been controlled, and strong men try to refine them regularly, but so far, only 2 have succeeded. In other words, in endless years, nearly 10 hearts of the universe have been born, and only 2 of them have been refined at this time. One is a strong man born inside the universe, and the other is a strong man from the 4 holy domains. I said that refining the heart of the universe is only one of the ways to become a heavenly venerable. Relying on yourself, it is still possible to become a heavenly venerable. Looking at Kunyu, Dian Tianzun said in a deep voice. Most of the heavenly venerables in the 4 holy domains actually broke through by themselves. Ancestor, I have learned from you. Kunyu nodded respectfully. Of course, although he said so, he didn't seem to let go at all. At most 10,000 years, I will be able to descend on the Panyan universe again. At that time, Li Yang, I will let you taste what despair is. Kunyu said fiercely in his heart. He felt that only after he solved Li Yang, he could completely let go of his knot and fully immerse himself in cultivation again. The key is that Kunyu was born as a master, his cultivation path was too smooth, and he had experienced too few setbacks, so the huge setbacks he encountered in the Panyan universe greatly affected his state of mind. Kunyu only wanted revenge at this time. Of course, the strength that Li Yang had shown before was beyond the peak of the ancestor realm, and his strength would not necessarily be stronger than Li Yang if he descended again. However, Kunyu was not worried at all. Before, he was not well prepared, and Li Yang's strength mainly relied on soul means. And he made a little preparation, and there were too many ways to restrain Li Yang's soul means. As long as he descended once more, he would completely crush Li Yang, and no accidents would happen. Swish. As he was talking, suddenly a phantom appeared here. Ancestor looking at the face of the phantom, it was Kunwu. Father seeing Kunwu, Kunyu also shouted. Kunwu, is there anything important? Polyester Tianzun asked when he saw Kunwu appear. Unless something particularly important happened, Kunwu would not have come here so suddenly. Ancestor, something big happened in the blood slaughter dynasty. A natural ancestor was born in the lineage of the eldest son of the blood slaughter king. Kunwu did not dare to say anything nonsense and quickly told the story. Hearing Kunwu's words, the face of Polyron Tianzun changed obviously. He was like this, and Kunwu was even more so at this time. Natural ancestor? The blood slaughter dynasty gave birth to a natural ancestor genius. Kunwu's face showed an extremely shocked expression. He was born as a master, which caused a huge shock, and was even taught by the Tianzun in the clan. And the natural ancestor has much more potential than a natural master like him. That Suhen is really lucky. Polyron Tianzun's face changed, and then he snorted coldly. The Shanai clan and the blood slaughter dynasty were not on good terms. It would be strange if he was in a good mood. Kunwu said again. A month later, the blood slaughter dynasty held a celebration and specially invited our Shanai tribe to participate. Such a big event, the heavenly venerable force like the blood slaughter dynasty will definitely celebrate it well. This blood slaughter dynasty is really good at showing off. The polyester heavenly venerable said. He looked at Kunwu and said, Kunwu, this time you will go with your father. Kunwu has a strong talent, but his character is obviously lacking. He is too arrogant. This time, such a genius appeared in the blood slaughter dynasty. Let Kunwu go and see it. Kunwu did not dare to disobey and said respectfully, Yes, ancestor. The 4 sacred domains were greatly shaken because of Li Yang's affairs. At this time, Li Yang followed the blood slaughter king and came to a palace. Yuanzun, we are here, the blood slaughter king said with a smile. Li Yang did not speak, and his mood was obviously a little uneasy. Heavenly Venerable, this is the real top powerhouse of the 4 sacred domains. The late stage of cultivation is the process of continuing to integrate the laws. There are 2 major types of cosmic laws, namely elemental laws and natural laws. The elemental laws include gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, and lightning, and the natural laws include space, time, light, darkness, life, and death. The elemental laws cannot be integrated with each other, but the natural laws can be integrated naturally, and can also be integrated with the elemental laws. In total, there are 57 paths to the fusion law. The ancestor realm is to fully master the 3 fusion laws and own a world. In this world, I am a godlike existence, and I can easily create life. Master more fusion laws and integrate them into my own world. In that world, the potential of life created by myself will be higher. And the Tianzun Strongman has the most perfect world. Because the Tianzun Strongman completely masters 57 fusion laws. Their world is almost the same as the outside world. The life in their world can comprehend any law and break through to the ancestor realm, the chaos realm, and even the heavenly realm. Tianzun is almost the limit of cultivation, and it has reached the end of cultivation. As powerful as the 4 sacred domains, Tianzun's power is also the top power. At this time, Li Yang is about to meet such a person. How can he be calm in his heart? Arriving in front of the palace, the Lord of Blood Slaughter said respectfully, Ancestor, I brought Yuanzun here. Come, in a somewhat ethereal voice came. Squeak, the palace door opened, and Li Yang followed the Lord of Blood Slaughter in. As soon as he entered, Li Yang saw a figure wearing a white robe and reading a book in his hand, looking like a scholar. Is this the oldest Suhan Tianzun of the Swilu dynasty? Li Yang couldn't help thinking in his heart. Ancestor. At this time, the Lord of Swilu respectfully saluted, verifying Li Yang's guess. Thanks to 08A for the 100 reward, thank you. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 949. Is this the oldest Suhan Tianzun of the Blood Slaughter dynasty? Li Yang thought as he looked at the man in front of him. After the leader of the Bloodshed Kingdom saluted, Li Yang also saluted. Well, not bad. Suhan Tianzun looked at Li Yang, who was staring at him, with a smile on his face. The little baby is quite calm after seeing me. Although Li Yang was just born, after being gestated in his belly for 50 years, Li Yang must have matured mentally. The Bloody Dynasty and others conceived cannot be like children after birth. Regarding Suhan Tianzun's gaze, Li Yang was actually a little panicked at this moment. Because, after all, he was reincarnated through the Kunlun mirror. Will this ancient Suhan Tianzun of the Bloody Dynasty see something? But before, Kunlun mirror confidently said that even Tianzun could not see through Li Yang. According to Kunlun mirror's explanation, Li Yang can be regarded as a being from the four holy realms at this time, but there are only more memories that originally belonged to Li Yang in his mind. Seeing that Suhan Tianzun had no other reaction, Li Yang breathed a sigh of relief. What is the origin of this Kunlun mirror? Even Tianzun can't see through it? Tianzun, who has completely mastered the 57 fusion laws, has reached the limit of his own universe, and has basically reached the end of cultivation. It stands to reason that these powerful people are the most powerful existences in the world, and no one can surpass them. But the Kunlun mirror can completely hide it from Tianzun, which undoubtedly shows that the origin of the Kunlun mirror may be even more terrifying than Tianzun. Li Yang specifically asked about it before, but Kunlun mirror did not hide the news about the four sacred areas, but he did not tell about his own origin at all, saying that Li Yang would naturally know it in the future. When Li Yang was thinking about it, Suhan Tianzun had no nonsense. He waved his right hand, and then a point of light came directly in front of Li Yang. The light spot disappeared, and what appeared in front of Li Yang was a strange vine. This vine was basically golden, and there were some other colors. Wild gold vine. Seeing this vine, the leader of the Bloody Kingdom said in shock. Wild gold vine. At this time, Li Yang also looked at the strange vine in front of him, but he was a little confused and didn't know what this vine was. Yuanzun, as soon as you were born, this wild gold vine was given to you. You can refine it, Suhan Tianzun said with a smile. He looked like a scholar, and his whole person looked elegant. At this time, Li Yang couldn't help but ask, Ancestor, Lord of the Kingdom, what are these wild gold vines? Haha, Li Yang, let me explain it to you. The Lord of Bloodshed was surprised, but he was also happy. He looked at Li Yang and said with a smile. The wild gold vine is a treasure that can breed clones. After you refine it, even if you die in the future, you can be resurrected through the wild gold vine. Pregnant a clone, Li Yang's heart moved when he heard this. There are actually very few lives that give birth to clones. In the Panyan universe where he was, there were also very few strong people who actually had clones. Furthermore, the wild gold vine itself is a life of the master level, which means that it will become a master when it grows up normally, and it can also give birth to a clone. The leader of the Bloody Kingdom smiled and said, with this clone, Yuanzun, you can make a good choice in your life at the level of natural domination. It can give birth to a clone's life, and the level of the clone it breeds is related to its own life level. For example, Li Yang's world tree clone is a life at the world level, so the clone he conceived will basically only reach the world level at most, and cannot be the clone of the fire ghost beast that was born as a god. Like Li Yang, the world tree gave birth to a clone of a natural god, a clone of a natural emperor, etc. They were completely exceptional and could not be copied by other powerful people. And this wild gold vine is a life at the master level, which means it is at the same level as the Saint Fall clone that Li Yang gave birth to before. It doesn't require any mutation to give birth to a holy fall clone. This will undoubtedly be of great benefit to Li Yang. You must know that without the skills in the mysterious little sword, Suhan Tianzun gave Li Yang a world tree clone, and the benefits to Li Yang would be limited. The level of the wild gold vine is infinitely higher than that of the world tree. Hearing what the Lord of Blood Slaughter said, Li Yang's face seemed to show excitement, and he quickly said, "Thank you, ancestor, for the gift." "Well, you can refine it now," Suhan Tianzun said. He had a smile on his face. Li Yang has such great potential and is their hope for becoming the third heavenly lord of the blood-slaying dynasty, so there cannot be any surprises. Therefore, as soon as he saw Li Yang, he immediately gave him a life that could give birth to a clone. With the clone, the probability of Li Yang's death will be greatly reduced. Over the endless years, one of the three geniuses born in the ancestral realm was careless and died before he could grow up. Li Yang nodded, and a drop of blood flew out from his body and came into contact with the wild gold vine. To refine life that contains the power of gestation, what is needed is not the soul, but blood. A strong man, even if he is shattered to pieces, can recover quickly as long as he has a trace of blood cells. The principle of giving birth to a clone's life and the ability to resurrect is actually similar. If you retain some of your own blood, even if you die, you can come back again with this retained trace of blood. Buzz. The Huangjin vines have obviously been completely processed by Suhan Tianzun, and Li Yang's blood has entered them without any hindrance. The blood penetrated, and Li Yang gradually felt a strange feeling. His consciousness seemed to be divided into two parts, one part was himself, and the other part was the wild gold vine in front of him. This wild gold vine seemed to have become a part of his body. Is the refining successful? Li Yang clearly felt the breathing space of the wild gold vine, which had completely retained a trace of his blood. At the same time, some information contained in the wild gold vine itself was also clearly understood by Li Yang. The wild gold vine grows normally to be a dominant life. It is born with the 6 laws of gold, water, earth, darkness, death, and time, and has the talent of gold, death fusion law, water, darkness fusion law, earth, time fusion law. Breakthrough to become a master, at least master the 3 fusion laws to 1/3 of each, so the wild gold vine naturally has 6 laws and 3 fusion law talents, which are all different from what Li Yang has comprehended now. At this time, after Li Yang successfully refined, he obviously had a lot more ideas in his mind. Because the skills in the mysterious little sword, the new self, and the new wild gold vine clone have not been practiced yet. The wild gold vine can give birth to another clone. If I practice the mysterious little sword's internal skills, how many clones can I give birth to? Li Yang couldn't help thinking in his heart. From the city to the strongest in the universe. Author, Ji Difeng Ren. Chapter 950. Li Yang's world tree clone is only a life at the world realm level, but under the effect of the mysterious sword technique, it even gave birth to an ancestral dragon at the ancestral realm level. And there are a total of 8 clones. To be precise, there should be 10, because Li Yang has no good choice, and 2 clones have not yet chosen to be bred. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. The world tree can undergo such a change. What kind of changes can Li Yang's wild gold vine clone undergo? The wild gold vine has been successfully refined. Yuanzun, your ability to save your life can also be greatly increased. Not knowing what Li Yang was thinking, Suhan Tianzun smiled, and he waved his right hand again, and then a black bead flew over. This is the soul-suppressing bead, which can protect your soul. Unless Tianzun takes action, no one can kill you with the soul. Soul killing, this is the most feared by the strong with clones. Even if there are more clones, as long as the main body or any clone is killed by the soul, then the main body and all clones will all die. Under the heavenly venerable, no one soul can kill me. Hearing this, Li Yang's eyes lit up. This is definitely an extremely precious treasure. Li Yang thanked again, took the soul calming orb, and quickly refined it. The soul calming orb entered his mind, and at this time Li Yang felt that his soul was obviously protected. Seeing Li Yang's joy, Suhan Tianzun also had a smile on his face. First the clone, then the soul. In this case, Li Yang is basically impossible to fall. With a wave of his right hand, the third treasure appeared, which was a purple token with a word written on it, which was the word G of the Blood Slaughter Dynasty. This is the heavenly venerable token of my Blood Slaughter Dynasty. With the heavenly venerable token, your status in my Blood Slaughter Dynasty is equivalent to that of the elders of the heavenly Dao realm in the clan. You can enter the inheritance land of my clan at will and use the cultivation resources at will, Suhan Tianzun said. With the means to save his life, for Li Yang, the most important thing next is definitely cultivation. Even if he is a natural ancestor, it only means that Li Yang's cultivation talent is the best in the universe, but he still needs to work hard to cultivate. It is not so easy to become a Tianzun. The two geniuses who were natural ancestors before also spent a long time to finally become Tianzun. Tianzun token? Enter the inheritance land at will. Hearing this, Li Yang became even more excited. The Blood Slaughter Dynasty, this is a Tianzun force with an extremely ancient inheritance. How powerful is the inheritance of this force? And he can enter the inheritance land at will in the future. Everyone knows that the inheritance land is the most fundamental foundation of a clan. If you want to enter, you need strict requirements. The stronger the talent, the longer it may take to enter. However, for Li Yang at this time, he doesn't need to do anything, just go in if he wants to. This is the treatment of a natural ancestor genius. Thank you, ancestor. Li Yang thanked excitedly. The three treasures given by Suhan Tianzun are indeed very suitable for him. Okay, go, practice well, you can come to me once in 10 years, and you can ask me any questions about cultivation. Suhan Tianzun smiled. Cultivation mainly depends on oneself, and he can only assist Li Yang. Yes, Li Yang and the Lord of Blood Slaughter both retreated respectfully. Haha, it is worthy of being a big force. On the way back, Li Yang was undoubtedly in a good mood. As soon as he was born, he got the life that could give birth to a clone, the soul-suppressing bead that could resist any soul attack below the Heavenly Venerable, and the Heavenly Venerable token that could enter the inheritance place of the Blood Slaughter Dynasty at will. This is the benefit of a big force. Yuan Zun, this is the information of my Blood Slaughter Dynasty, you can take a look. The Lord of Blood Slaughter looked at Li Yang with a smile on his face, and he handed over a white bead. Li Yang's consciousness sank into the white bead, and suddenly a lot of information about the Blood Slaughter Dynasty appeared, such as where the inheritance place of the Blood Slaughter Dynasty is, where the resource treasure house is, etc. Wu Lao! He shouted directly. Swish! Then, an old man with a slightly hunched body appeared beside Li Yang. The old man looked very old, but the momentum fluctuations faintly emanating from his body reached an extremely strong level. Obviously, this is a strong man in the heavenly Dao realm. Yuan Zun, this is Wu Lao, who will be responsible for protecting your safety in the future. If you have any questions about cultivation, you can also ask Wu Lao, the Lord of Blood Slaughter said with a smile. Li Yang glanced at the old man and shouted with a smile, Wu Lao. Wu Lao smiled and nodded. It was obvious that he didn't say much. It can be seen that his status in the Blood Slaughter Dynasty is not low. The heavenly Dao realm is only below the heavenly Venerable. There are not many strong men of this level in the heavenly Venerable's power. Okay, Yuan Zun, wherever you want to go, Wu Lao will take you there. The Lord of Blood Slaughter obviously had something to do, and he was not going to follow Li Yang all the time. After he left, Li Yang also returned to his home. Yuan Zun. At this time, in the palace courtyard, Ziyuking looked outside from time to time. When she saw Li Yang coming back, she immediately showed joy on her face. brother. Behind Ziyuking, Gun Hung, and Gun Tong also came over, very excited. Mother, brother, sister. Li Yang also called out. Ziyuking held Li Yang's little hand and was unwilling to let go. As for the eldest son of the Blood Slaughter King, Li Yang's father Ji Tianxian, he was still outside and had not returned. For practitioners, most of the time is spent on adventures and honing their skills, trying to make themselves stronger. Old Wu, take me to the resource library. After not staying at home for long, Li Yang left and prepared to go to the resource library of the Blood Slaughter dynasty. Because, the resource library has what Li Yang wants. Along the way, Li Yang attracted countless eyes. Look, it's Master Yuanzun. Old Wu has become Master Yuanzun's guard. Old Wu is a peak Heavenly Dao realm expert. It seems that Master Yuanzun's destination is the resource library. After seeing Li Yang, all the eyes looked over. Before, the scene of the endless fusion law covering the entire Blood Slaughter dynasty was still in their minds and had not dissipated. Naturally, no one was jealous of Li Yang's treatment. As the natural ancestor, when Li Yang grows up, he will be the third heavenly lord of their Blood Slaughter dynasty. Isn't it normal to have a peak Heavenly Dao realm expert to protect him? Li Yang didn't care about everyone's attention. He came to the Blood Slaughter dynasty resource library and began to search purposefully. Found it? Li Yang quickly found a place where there were fragments of life at various levels. Ancestor Dragon, born as an ancestor, can master 3 fusion laws when it grows up normally. Fire Kylin, born as an ancestor, can master 3 fusion laws when it grows up normally. Devouring Demon Worm, born as an ancestor, can master 3 fusion laws when it grows up normally. Thanks to Zero Eta for the 100 reward, thank you. From the city to the strongest in the universe. Author, Ji Difeng Ren. Chapter 951. A stream of life information at the level of the natural ancestors appeared in front of Li Yang. In the Panyan universe where Li Yang was before, there was only the ancestor dragon. But in the 4 sacred domains, there are more than 20 kinds. Quite a lot. However, even in the 4 sacred domains, the natural ancestors are the highest level of life. There is no life in the natural chaos realm. After all, when it grows up, it has a universe of its own, which is the limit. Therefore, the 20 kinds of life of the natural ancestors are all born with the 3 fusion laws. Li Yang looked carefully, and the Blood Slaughter dynasty was worthy of being a heavenly power. There were 20 kinds of life of the natural ancestors such as the ancestor dragon. This is normal. After all, the major forces have a special cultivation method that can continue to grow stronger in the mother's womb, so that the geniuses in the clan are born as natural emperors and natural masters. These aspects are largely perfected by studying most of the life such as the ancestor dragon. In the Panyan universe, the natural gods of the fire ghost divine beast and the time divine tree are of interest to countless tribes, who want to study them, not to mention the 4 sacred domains that have existed for who knows how many years. Collect all of these first, and wait and see if there will be any changes after the wild gold vine clone practices the mysterious small sword internal skills, Li Yang secretly said in his heart. Li Yang had many clones before. But now he can be regarded as a brand new life. In other words, he has no clones. Li Yang is now in the ancestral realm. If the wild gold vine clone relies on the mysterious small sword skills to mutate, it is entirely possible to breed a clone of the natural ancestral level. Even more than one. Li Yang before, one realm can breed a clone. If it is still the same now. As long as it is bred, Li Yang will surely quickly master the fusion laws. You know, the Chaos realm and the Heavenly Dao realm after the Ancestral realm continue to comprehend the fusion laws. If Li Yang has a life at the ancestral level, he probably doesn't need to practice, and the fusion laws will be mastered automatically. How fast will his practice speed be? After collecting the corpse fragments of the ancestral dragon and other natural ancestral level life forms, Li Yang continued to look at the others and also got the fragments of many natural emperor level life forms such as Saint Meteor. The first choice is to breed ancestral level life forms. If it fails, then you can only breed domination level life forms. Although Li Yang is very confident in the skills in the mysterious sword, as long as he succeeds in practicing, he can breed ancestral level clones. However, Li Yang is not 100% sure. After getting these, Li Yang did not stay for long. The skills in the mysterious sword are still being cultivated. Let's go to the cultivation place first. It will obviously take some time to cultivate and master the skills in the mysterious sword. Li Yang did not waste time waiting and went directly to the place where the Blood Slaughter dynasty cultivated. This is a huge chaotic land, surrounded by countless chaotic air currents, and in this chaotic air current, there are strange small towers. There are a total of 57 small towers, and it is unknown how many years they have stood. And outside the small tower, there are some young people waiting to enter the small tower. Xian Mo, Ling Lu, there is no one in the small tower of the fire system and space fusion law now. You too can enter for 1 month. An old man is arranging for people to enter. Yes, Lord Ling Han. After the words fell, 2 young men came out and said hurriedly. There was obvious expectation in their eyes, looking at those small towers, their eyes were full of heat. This is the inheritance place of the Blood Slaughter dynasty, which contains the most detailed analysis of the fusion law. Every time they enter, their fusion law comprehension will improve. Not only these 2 young men, but also other people are waiting eagerly. No matter what force they are in, inheritance is the most important. Relying on inheritance, they can improve faster and go further. Swish. In the distance, 2 figures flew quickly. The leader turned out to be a child who looked only 5 or 6 years old, followed by an old man. After the child came here, holding the token, he flew directly into a small tower. It's Master Yuanzun. Master Yuanzun entered the small tower of the dark and water fusion laws. It seems that Master Yuanzun can enter these inheritance towers at will. Master Yuanzun is the natural ancestor, it is normal to have such privileges. I heard from others that Wu Lao, who is at the peak of the heavenly Dao realm, is specifically protecting Master Yuanzun. Now it is indeed true. Watching Li Yang disappear, the young men below were obviously envious. They practiced hard and finally had some time to enter the inheritance tower. But Li Yang entered at will without any restrictions. In the inheritance tower of the Blood Slaughter dynasty, some people enter each time, and then another group of people enter after they come out. However, Li Yang has the Heavenly Lord token, which is equivalent to opening up a separate space for him in the inheritance tower. He does not affect others, and others cannot affect him. Darkness and water fusion law. Li Yang looked at the strange secret patterns in the small tower at this time. The strength that Li Yang showed now is the strength of the early stage of the ancestor realm. He relied on the time and fire fusion law, the darkness and lightning fusion law, and the space and gold fusion law to break through. In the Panyan universe, Li Yang has actually mastered the 3 fusion laws of life and wood, death and earth, and darkness and gold. In total, he has mastered 6. If Li Yang is willing, he can increase his strength again and directly reach the middle stage of the ancestral realm. But Li Yang naturally can't do this. The early stage of the ancestral realm is already the limit of gestation, and he can't suddenly show all 6 fusion laws. He can show them slowly in the future. In the ancestral realm, a total of 9 fusion laws need to be comprehended. Li Yang has mastered 6, and only 3 are left. So, now Li Yang must focus on comprehending the new 3 fusion laws. And the previous wild gold vines, born to dominate the level, are born to master some of the gold, death fusion laws, water, darkness fusion laws, earth, Time fusion laws, Li Yang naturally comprehended these three. The consciousness sank into the secret patterns in front of him, and these secret patterns evolved rapidly in Li Yang's mind. And Li Yang's eyes clearly showed a hint of surprise. My understanding speed is so fast. Li Yang has practiced for thousands of years and understood the laws for thousands of years, but at this moment, he has never understood the laws so quickly. Before, Li Yang had the ancestral dragon clone, so he understood the fusion law very quickly. At this moment, Li Yang understood the fusion law of darkness and water in front of him, and the speed of understanding was more than 10 times faster than before. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 952. 10 times faster than the ancestral dragon? Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow dot. What speed is this? The ancestral dragon clone, eating and drinking, does not need to practice specially, and grows up to the ancestral realm. This is completely equivalent to putting the answer to the fusion law in front of the ancestral dragon. When it really comprehends it, the speed is absolutely the best in the universe. From the beginning of cultivation to the ancestral realm stage, almost no life dares to say that the speed of progress is faster than the ancestral dragon. Born as an ancestor, this is not a casual statement. But Li Yang's comprehension speed is 10 times faster than that. This is completely unimaginable. No wonder all major forces started to invest resources in the gestation stage, Li Yang sighed. Li Yang is still Li Yang, and there is no change, but because when he was born, his strength reached the ancestral realm, so the origin of heaven and earth descended. While improving his strength, it also greatly improved his talent. Li Yang in the Panyan universe has a strong talent for cultivation, but he mainly relies on his clones. Relying on the clones, his strength progress is much faster than others. If there were no clones, there might be many people who would surpass Li Yang simply by comparing their cultivation talents. But now it can be said that in the 4 sacred domains, or even more than 100 million universes, Li Yang's talent can be said to be the top. Even if he does not rely on any resources and continues to cultivate, he will step into the realm of Tianzun. Of course, Li Yang would definitely not practice slowly by himself. If he can practice faster, he certainly wants to improve his strength faster. Begin to comprehend. In addition to being happy, Li Yang also completely immersed himself in cultivation. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. Time flies, and a month has passed in the blink of an eye. Outside the inheritance tower, Wu Lao, who is at the peak of the heavenly Dao realm, is waiting. The young people below are still queuing up for inheritance. From time to time, young people look at Wu Lao with awe in their eyes. Mr. Yuanzun is really hard-working in cultivation at this time. Wu Lao couldn't help but sigh in his heart. After all, Li Yang was just born. He entered the inheritance tower to practice for a month as soon as he was born. This is obviously a manifestation of extremely hard work. Most practitioners, with such good conditions, at least spend some time enjoying it. While sighing, Wu Lao suddenly looked forward and saw Li Yang's figure. Wu Lao, the banquet is about to start. I'll go back, Li Yang said. He was concentrating on practicing just now, but he received the news. The Blood Slaughter dynasty gave birth to a genius who was born as an ancestor. As one of the top Tianzun forces in the 4 holy domains, the Blood Slaughter dynasty would naturally celebrate it well. It held a banquet and invited personnel from major Tianzun forces to participate. As the person involved, Li Yang could not miss the banquet. After leaving the inheritance tower, Li Yang returned to his residence. Diamond suit, diamond suit. Brother. Ji Yuantong was practicing gun skills in the yard. Seeing Li Yang coming, Ji Yuantong was surprised. Father, mother, my brother is back from practice. Whoosh! Whoosh! Suddenly, two figures flew out of the palace, one of which was Ziyuking. Ziyuking pulled Li Yang over, her eyes full of joy. However, while she was happy, Ziyuking couldn't help but say, Yuanzun, although cultivation is important, you are still young, don't work too hard. Her son had just been born and had not been with her for long, so he ran to the inheritance place to cultivate for a month. She missed her son, but she couldn't disturb him, so she could only endure it. Mother, I know. Li Yang nodded and looked at the man next to Ziyuking, who was obviously excited. Needless to say, this must be his father Ji Tianxian. Father, Li Yang shouted. Good. Good. Ji Tianxian hurriedly responded with a smile. Ji Tianxian still had a sense of unreality in his heart. He had been honing outside before, and suddenly a message was passed to him, asking him to come back, saying that his son was born as the ancestor. After returning to the blood slaughter dynasty, Li Yang went to cultivate, but he was received by Suhan Tianzun and given some treasures. Giving birth to a genius like Li Yang is obviously a great contribution to the blood slaughter dynasty. Mr. Yuanzun, the banquet is about to begin. As he was speaking, Wu Lao next to him reminded him. Nodding, Li Yang looked at his parents and said, Father, mother, let's go to the banquet. Not only him, but also his parents Ji Tianxian and Ziyuking will attend the banquet. This is a huge square with many people on it, and voices can be heard from time to time. Zhentian Valley sends 3 chaos sacred heart fruits. Xin Chen Sek sends a void gold flame. The Divine Wing clan sends. One voice after another rang out, all of which were treasures sent by the major Tianzun forces. Swish! Suddenly, the Lord of Blood Slaughter appeared on the high seat at the front of the square. Next to the Lord of Blood Slaughter, there was a child who looked 5 or 6 years old. That's Ji Yuanzun, the natural ancestor of the Blood Slaughter dynasty. The Blood Slaughter dynasty is so lucky. Such a genius was born. After Li Yang appeared, almost all eyes turned to him, and the people of the Tianzun faction could not hide their envy. It would be great if such a genius appeared in their faction. That's Ji Yuanzun. At this time, Kun Yu from the Shanai tribe camp also looked over in the square, staring at Li Yang. He, a natural ruler, caused a huge shock when he was born. He usually appeared in banquets of major forces and was the focus of everyone. But now, everyone's eyes were on Ji Yuanzun, and few people looked at him. This made Kun Yu, who had always been the focus of everyone, feel a little uncomfortable and instinctively disgusted with Ji Yuanzun. Haha, thank you for waiting for a long time. The Lord of the Blood Slaughter Kingdom smiled and greeted the major forces with Li Yang. Li Yang did not speak, he silently glanced at the forces present. There are quite a lot of acquaintances. Li Yang glanced at Kun Yu of the Divine Wing clan and sneered in his heart. Kun Yu decades ago was arrogant and looked at them like ants. Even if he was beaten back by Li Yang, it did not change the fact that Li Yang was an ant in his heart. And now, the two met again. Li Yang was the focus of everyone, and the arrogant Kun Yu became a foil. Not only Kun Yu, Li Yang looked at the Kaishan sect, and the tortoise-shelled old man, Elder Xian, who came with Kun Yu, also came. Under Li Yang's gaze, the tortoise-shelled old man, Elder Xian, came to the side of the Blood Slaughter Lord with a smile on his face. Lord Blood Slaughter Lord, this time I came to the Kaishan sect to invite Master Yuanzun to become a core member of my Kaishan section. Master Yuanzun can go to my Kaishan sect at any time to get all the refining inheritance, including the refining method of the Heavenly Saint weapon. He actually came to invite Li Yang to join the Kaishan sect. In fact, it is normal. When Li Yang was born, the origin of heaven and earth descended to improve Li Yang's talent. Not only did Li Yang's cultivation talent reach the top level, his other talents, including the talent for refining, were also improved to the top level, the best of the 4 sacred domains. Thanks to Zero Eta for the 100 rewards, thank you. From the city to the strongest in the universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 953. The Kaishan sect has indeed come to invite Ji Yuanzun. Humph, Ji Yuanzun is the natural ancestor. The origin of heaven and earth not only makes his cultivation talent reach the top level, but also his other talents, including the talent for refining weapons, are also top-notch. Absorbing Ji Yuanzun now will be equivalent to having another Tianzun behind Kaishan sect in the future. It's really a good calculation. It's useless to know what Kaishan sect's plan is. Kaishan sect is the only Tianzun level weapon refining force in the 4 holy areas, and it's also the only force that can refine Tianzun's holy weapons. Which force doesn't want Tianzun's holy weapons? Ji Yuanzun's top-notch talent for refining weapons makes it impossible to refuse Kaishan sect's invitation. Yes, none of the 3 geniuses who were born as ancestors refused the invitation from Kaishan section. After the tortoise-shell old man Xian Lao opened his mouth, one by one the powerful men started talking. Weapons can almost be said to be the most important thing for a strong man. Having the right weapons can also make a strong man display more powerful strength. Among the 4 holy realms, there are obviously more powerful weapons above the supreme holy weapon. Chaos Artifact. Heavenly Sacred Artifact. Even the Heavenly Sacred Artifact. The Heavenly Sacred Artifact, this is the weapon that every Heavenly Lord desires. In the 4 major holy areas, there are only a handful of people who can refine the Heavenly Sacred Artifacts, only 4 of them. And it takes an extremely long time to refine one. This means that most of the Heavenly Lords only have one Heavenly Lord Sacred Artifact, and a very few have 2. The first person who could refine the Heavenly Sacred Artifact was the founder of the Kaishan section. He did not hide his secrets. He absorbed various weapon refining geniuses and passed on the method of refining the Heavenly Saint Artifact to some heaven-defying weapon refining geniuses. Of course, this inheritance must be limited. It can only be passed on to a certain person. Before passing it on, you need to ensure that it will never be leaked. Therefore, at this time, Kaishan sect is still the only force that can refine Tianzun holy weapons. The other 3 powerful men who can refine Tianzun's holy weapons are all nominally related to the Kaishan sect. There is only one Heavenly Lord in the Kaishan sect, but his status in the 4 sacred areas is very special. The tortoise-shell old man, Mr. Xian, had a smile on his face and looked confidently at Ji Yuanzun, the genius of the blood-slaying dynasty. He believed that Ji Yuanzun could not refuse the temptation of the Tianzun sacred artifact, not even the bloodshed dynasty. Of course, Ji Yuanzun's talent is what they value most. In the heart of the turtle-shell old man, Li Yang of the small universe had cracked 100 secret patterns of the talent ladder in 700 years. He was a top genius that his Kaishan sect could hardly encounter. Not many people could compare with him. Compared with Li Yang, Ji Yuanzun's weapon refining talent will be more terrifying due to the improvement of the origin of heaven and earth. He is at least several times more powerful than Li Yang. It is estimated that it will only take about 200 years to completely crack the 100 talent ladders. Secret pattern. With such a talent, it is very promising to refine the heavenly sacred artifact in the future. In fact, the Kaishan sect doesn't care if there is one more person who refines the heavenly saint artifact, and it won't be leaked anyway. What they care about is pulling Ji Yuanzun to side with their Kaishan sect. As long as they have a relationship, they can still maintain their transcendent status after opening Tianzong. Hearing the words of the tortoise-shell old man Xian, the eyes of the Lord of the Bloody Slaughter Kingdom lit up. Their Blood Slaughter dynasty also has weapon refiners, but at most they can only refine ordinary heavenly Dao sacred artifacts. As for the heavenly sacred artifacts, it is impossible to refine them. Now, the 2 heavenly sacred artifacts of the blood-killing dynasty were refined by the Kaishan sect at a great cost. If Ji Yuanzun can refine it in the future, it will obviously be of great benefit to the bloodshed dynasty. Tianzun's sacred artifact. At this time, Li Yang also looked at the tortoise-shell old man. He had asked Kunlun Mirror a lot of things before, and naturally he also knew about the weapons situation of the 4 sacred areas. The supreme holy weapon of Panyan universe is the most common weapon in these 4 holy areas, and can be seen everywhere. I wonder if Mr. Yuanzun has any ideas. The tortoise-shell old man Xianlao looked at Li Yang and waited for his answer with a smile. Under his confident gaze, Li Yang's face was filled with calmness. Sorry, I'm not interested in refining weapons. He refused the turtle-shell old man's invitation without hesitation. Before, Caixin sect came to Panyan universe, and finally took back the inheritance he received. He had no good impression of Caixin sect at all, and even had a trace of disgust. Naturally, it was impossible for him to go to Caixin sect. Hearing this, many people from the surrounding forces were stunned. Ji Yuanzun of the Bloody Dynasty refused the invitation of Caixin sect. He has no idea about the heavenly sacred artifact. Each of the strong men was stunned. They all thought that it was impossible for Li Yang to refuse. After all, the method of refining Tianzun's sacred weapon was not leaked to the 3 people who could do it because of their commitment to Caixin sect. At this time, only Caixin sect can still pass down the method of refining the supreme holy weapon. At this time, the smile on the turtle-shell old man's face also froze for a moment. Rejected. The Caixin sect was willing to hand over the method of refining Tianzun's holy weapon, just to win over Ji Yuanzun. But Ji Yuanzun is not interested in their Caixin sect refining weapons. Yuanzun at this time, the leader of the Bloodshed Kingdom, and Li Yang sent a message. Master, needless to say, I really have no interest in refining weapons, Li Yang said directly. Okay, after hearing this, the leader of the Bloody Kingdom had no choice but to say. Li Yang is not interested in refining weapons, so he can't force it, right? Although Li Yang is his grandson, Li Yang's status in the Bloody Dynasty is definitely not lower than his. He couldn't force Li Yang. The old man Xianlao, who was wearing tortoise shells, saw that Li Yang had no idea, so he had to say, since Master Yuanzun is not interested for the time being, it's okay. If Master Yuanzun has any ideas, he can come to my Caixin sect at any time. He was not a person who would pester others. Ji Yuanzun was still young now. When he realized the benefits of the Tianzun sacred artifact in the future, he would come to his Caixin sect. The old man with tortoise shells was very humble at this time. He couldn't give up on Ji Yuanzun just because he was rejected once. Li Yang of the Panyan universe had a talent for refining enough to surprise the Caixin sect, but when facing the Shanai clan, he could give up Li Yang without hesitation. Because, although Li Yang's talent for refining was rare in the Caixin sect, there were still some. However, Ji Yuanzun's talent for refining, which had been improved by the origin of heaven and earth, was definitely the strongest talent for refining in the 4 holy domains. If the previous Li Yang had a talent for refining comparable to Ji Yuanzun's, even if he faced the Shanai clan, the old man with tortoise shells would definitely stand on Li Yang's side. The banquet ended quickly without any waves. Are you kidding? The Blood Slaughter dynasty is one of the heavenly venerable forces, and the Void Mark Heavenly Venerable has been guarding it for a long time. Other heavenly venerables dare not do anything when they come here. With Li Yang's status at this time, who dares to pick a fight with him? Yuanzun, the heavenly venerable sacred artifact is very important to any heavenly venerable force. You can try to refine it when you become stronger in the future. As everyone left, the Lord of the Blood Slaughter Kingdom looked at Li Yang and couldn't help saying. He personally hoped that Li Yang would get the method to refine the heavenly venerable sacred artifact. After all, Li Yang's talent for refining artifacts is at the top of the universe. It would be a pity if he didn't try to refine the heavenly venerable sacred artifact. End of this chapter.